Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the meeting of the Lebanon Utility Service Board for December 14th, 2022. Let the record reflect that the meeting was properly advertised and a working session was prior, and that all board members are present tonight. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, as we've recently started doing, we're going to ask for any public comment at the beginning and the end of our meeting, so I'll go ahead and ask for any public comment tonight. Don't see anyone here for comment. Ed, you aware of anything that we need to address up front?
No, sir.
All right, then we'll move to the minutes for our November 30th meeting. Everyone had a chance to review those, and if so, any discussion? Would entertain a motion to approve.
I make a motion we approve the minutes.
Second.
Motion made by Bill, seconded by Ann to approve the minutes from the November 30th, 2022 meeting.
I will be abstaining because I was absent.
All righty.
Okay.
Any additional discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, and let the record show that Aaron abstained. Okay, next item tonight is the approval of our 2023 utility salary and wages. Sandra Morgan spent a lot of time on this, and she's at the podium tonight. Hey, Sandra.
All right, thank you. Good evening. So I am here tonight to present the 2023 Employee Advancement Program. And that program was actually put in place in 2018. And in 2021, we did complete a full market study using the APPA Public Power Survey and then the AWWA Compensation Survey. So for 2023, we worked with the Personnel Committee to decide what to do with that for this year. And the recommendation from the Personnel Committee would be to increase all levels of the advancement program by 4.5%. So hopefully everybody had a chance to look at that, and we are recommending that the board approve the 2023 Lebanon Utility Employee Advancement Program as presented.
All right, thanks, Sandra. Any questions for Sandra? We discussed this in the working session as well. Anything for Sandra before we entertain a motion? Right, I would entertain a motion.
I make a motion to approve the 2023 Lebanon Utility Employee Advancement Program as presented and allow general manager to work within the program throughout the year.
Second.
Motion made by Bill, seconded by Tim to approve the 2023 Lebanon Utility Employee Advancement Program as presented, with our general manager working through this program. Any additional discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, thank you, Sandra. I think you're staying put for the budget now.
I am, and I just wanted to make sure, I thought we was going to do a second motion regarding another salary, so I was looking to the Personnel Committee to see if they wanted to do that tonight.
I think we need a second motion for the salaries separate of the,
I think so, don't you?
Do you?
Yes.
Yes.
all right.
How do you want to structure that, all right? Just want to make a second.
Just make a second motion.
Yeah, second motion as presented, I think is, will.
Okay, suffice.
Say again, Sam, I'm sorry.
So I think they were going to approve the general manager's salary because he can't approve his own, even though he can work within that salary.
Right, got it.
Then I make a motion, a second motion as presented.
So would you repeat that motion, please?
Yeah, we would need to approve a 4.5% increase for the general manager because he cannot, if that's the intent of the Personnel Committee, because he cannot approve his own within those ranges.
Is that what we want to do? So then we'd have a second motion that would approve the general manager's salary 4.5%? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, that's what you approved for everyone else.
All right, then I'd make that motion.
Second.
Motion made by Bill, seconded by Tim to approve a 4.5% General Manager salary increase for 2023. All in favor, signify by saying
Let's
aye.
see, let's have some discussion, please.
Any additional discussion?
I'm a little surprised that in the past, we've met in executive session and discussed the general manager's performance and salary recommendation, and we haven't done that this year.
So we can hold off on that until January if that's what you want.
I think, with regard to the question, Aaron, I think that's still a relevant conversation to have with regards to performance, but relative to the entire employee base. We don't separate pay for any of the employees. We've agreed to a 4.5% for all employees, and we feel it's inclusive of the general manager also.
Will you be in the two-member personnel committee?
Personnel committee is fair. That's fair.
Right.
Fair. That's the recommendation.
Is that good with you, Aaron?
I'm sorry?
Well,
I said, you
yeah,
agree with that?
Yeah, so we have a motion and discussion, and so I'll ask for additional discussion, and if we don't have any, then if someone wants to second the motion, we can vote. So is there any additional discussion? All right, and we do have a motion, Bill, correct?
Right, we
All right, and
do.
do we have a second?
I seconded it, so,
Tim second.
yeah.
All right, so we have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
No.
All right, we will move to the budget now. Sandra, thank you.
All right, thank you again. So we're here tonight to present the 2023 budget, and just want to let everybody know that we do take a couple of months to go through this process. And I want to thank Ryan and Jeff Greeno, Danielle, the Personnel Committee, everyone, and all the board members, I guess, that had to read through this. It is 50-some pages long, so tonight we will present a very high level of those highlights for everyone. And thanks to Ed, he had to sit through all the meetings. So, on the electric utility, looking at our proposed operating revenue, it's at $27.5 million. Our proposed operating expenses is around $27 million. And we have interest expense for a revenue bond that would net out to be $116,000 for a net margin before extraordinary items of $317,000. From a capital standpoint, for 2023, we are looking at about $2.3 million. Sorry, got ahead of myself. And that includes an annexation loop feed for about $350,000, new and replacement transformers for $300,000, service to new facilities for $300,000, operations building expansion for $300,000, a digger derrick truck for $291,000, our AMI program $240,000, a backyard digger derrick for $219,000, system upgrades for $200,000, south substation for $100,000, and then miscellaneous smaller items for about $53,000. So in looking at that, the rate structure that was put into place was in 2013, and it was designed to provide about $1 million per year for capital improvements, averaged over a 5-year period. For 2023, we have a net of about $1.4 million available for capital and debt. Our projected capital is $605,000, leaving about $777,000 for capital. Our 2023 capital improvements are $2.4 million approximately. So in summary, it does appear that our 2023 cash levels will decrease somewhat. However, based on the current 5-year capital plan, our cash should remain fairly stable. For our water utility, our proposed operating revenues is $5.5 million. Our proposed operating expenses, about $3.9 million. Interest revenue of about $28,000 for a net margin before extraordinary items of $1.6 million. Looking at our water capital improvements, our 2023 total is $1.1 $9 million approximately. And that includes Abner Longley Water Storage, our Lake Shore Drive State Road 30 main water main project, our AMI meters, facility rehab, water tower asset management program, Ulen Elmwood Bridge water main, a vac excavator with trailer, and then unforeseen distribution repairs and equipment, and then miscellaneous items. So an analysis on the water utility, the current rate structure was put into place in 2018. It was a 5-year adjustment that ended in 2022. It was designed to provide approximately $758,000 per year for capital improvements that was averaged over a 5-year period. Our operating budget leaves currently about $2.4 million available for capital and debt. Our debt's $436,000 for the principal, leaving $1.9 million. And our 2023 capital improvements not covered by bond is about $1.5 million. So there should be a little bit additional next year for any unforeseen projects, or we'll apply that towards the 2024 capital projects. On the wastewater utility, we have proposed operating revenue of $5.9 million, proposed operating expense of $4.6 million, interest expense of $183,000. We have 2 bonds that cover that, and then a net margin before extraordinary items of about $1.1 million. From a capital standpoint, our 2023 capital improvements are $6.1 million. So we have our Reese Park Lift Station Phase 1 and Phase 2. I think Phase 1 is almost complete. This would be the remainder that we have left to pay in 2023. We have a vac truck, our Business Park Regional Lift Station. That would be the engineering for that portion. Hickory Junction Lift Station Phase 2, collection system repairs and upgrades, our AMI program, and then a wastewater treatment plant clarifier drive mechanism and mechanism recoating. So for wastewater, the rate structure that was put into place in 2016 was designed to provide approximately $940,000 per year for capital improvements. 2023 will be the 8th year that the current rates have been in place. The 2023 budget leaves a net of $2 million available for capital and debt, and the debt principal $660,000, leaving about $1.4 million for capital. Our 2023 capital investments not covered by bond is about $6.1 million. So in summary, our cash will decrease significantly in the wastewater utility in 2023. For the telecommunications utility, our proposed operating revenue is $993,000. Our proposed operating expenses of $660,000, interest of $21,983, for a net margin of $354,960 before the extraordinary items. Our proposed 2023 capital improvements total about $101,000, and they include wireless technology upgrades, tower upgrades, wireless installs, fiber maintenance projects. There's another specific fiber project in there, IT improvements, backhaul upgrades, and then router and switch upgrades. So from a telecom perspective, the budget leaves a net of $396,000 available for capital and debt. There will be no debt in 2023, which is really nice because we will have paid all of that off in December of this year. Our capital improvements total about $101,000, so our 2023 cash levels should increase, which would allow for additional funds to be applied towards any of the upgrades that needs to be done for the telecom utility. And then they will continue to cover, it's between $300,000 and $400,000 now per year in allocated costs. So any questions on the budget? Again, I know we've spent a lot of time in the working sessions and in finance committee meetings to come up with these numbers. So if we can help you in any way, let us know.
Thank you, Sandra. Thanks to everyone who's put a lot of time in to the budget. It's time consuming, it's important, and appreciate that. Any questions for Sandra? Discussion on the budget? Not, I would entertain a motion.
I move to approve the 2023 budget as presented.
Second.
Motion made by Aaron, seconded by Tim to approve the 2023 budget. Any additional discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Thank you, Sandra. Looks like you're still here for a second.
Last item.
Approval of the 2023 city salaries and wages.
Okay, so the city has requested that the utilities continue to support a portion of the salary for the mayor, the clerk treasurer, and the deputy clerk treasurer. And I think everybody should have a copy of the letter that was sent over by the clerk treasurer. The amounts are for the mayor, $30,090. For the clerk treasurer, it's $17,204. And for the deputy clerk treasurer, it's $26,952. This represents a 0% increase for both the mayor and the clerk treasurer over the 2022 rates, and a 5% increase for the deputy clerk treasurer over the 2022 rates. So we are requesting that the board approve the salaries for the city officials as shown above for 2023.
All right, thank you, Sandra. Questions for Sandra or discussion? If not, I would entertain a motion.
I move to approve the utilities portion of the 2023 salaries for city employees.
Second.
So, in the way of discussion,
Yeah, so we have a motion by Tim and a second by Ann. Any other discussion?
I wish to explain why I will vote no for Lebanon Utilities to pay a portion of city salaries. State law requires that Lebanon Utilities must each year include payment in lieu of taxes, or pilot payments, in the expenses that are covered by the utility rates used to compute the monthly bill paid by all Lebanon utility customers. Pilot payments are equivalent to the property taxes that Lebanon Utilities would pay to the city if it were privately owned. Pilot payments merely add to the city's general fund cash balance because the city does not dedicate any of these payments to meet the city's ongoing needs. However, state law also gives our Lebanon City Council, with the approval of our mayor, the option whether or not to require all or part of the pilot payments for any 1 year to be transferred to the city's general fund. If the city declines to accept pilot payments, then the pilot amounts would remain with Lebanon Utilities and be available to meet the capital projects needs of our electric, water, wastewater, and telecommunications departments. The city regrettably chose to accept the maximum permissible pilot payments allowed by state law from our Lebanon Utilities every year, beginning in 2011 when the city resolution number 2010-07 was adopted on December 13, 2010. This board unanimously passed our resolution 2019-02 on June 5, 2019, recommending that the city revise its resolution 2010-07 to review each year during its budget work sessions how much of the pilot payments will be accepted after a presentation from Lebanon Utilities about what capital projects are planned to improve the city's utility infrastructure. The city has not yet responded to our resolution. If the city were to agree to reduce or eliminate its annual pilot payments, then the pilot amounts could be spent on the capital project needs of our wastewater, electric, water, and telecommunications departments, while helping avoid utility rate increases that would unnecessarily harm too many of our vulnerable neighbors. Our 2023 budget includes a whopping total of $692,707 in pilot payments to the city. Our city government has continuously managed to maintain ample cash balances to meet our city's needs without the exorbitant pilot payments. I have heard it said that pilot payments should be considered the city's return on investment. This is incorrect because Lebanon Utilities is a nonprofit enterprise of the city, meaning that there can be no return on investment built into our utility rates. The city should use 11% of its excessive pilot revenue to pay all its city salaries. This is why I am voting against spending another $74,246 of our ratepayers' hard-earned money on the city salaries. Thank you.
Thank you, Aaron. Any other discussion or questions? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Thank you, Sandra, for your time.
All right, thank you.
Appreciate it. All right, next item tonight is the Cedar Ridge Section 2. It's an action item, and our electric operations manager, Jeff Greeno, is at the podium, all dressed up tonight. Hey, Jeff, looking good?
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm bringing a request for approval to the board tonight to have Barriott install the electric conduit and equipment for Phase 2 of the housing addition Cedar Ridge. Cedar Ridge is located on Fordyce, just east of Grant Street. They have, earlier in the year, we completed Phase 1 of the work. Now the developer's ready for Phase 2 to be started. So I would like to ask the board to approve Barriott Incorporated to install the electric conduit and equipment for Cedar Ridge Section 2 with a not-to-exceed amount of $28,145, with all documents to be signed by General Manager Ed Baskell. Does anyone have any questions?
Thank you, Jeff. Questions for Jeff on this project? If not, I would entertain a motion.
I make a motion to approve the Berry Incorporated to install the electrical conduit and equipment for Cedar Ridge Section 2 for a not-to-exceed amount of $28,145 with all documents to be signed by General Manager Ed Baskell.
Second.
Motion made by Bill, seconded by Tim, to approve Barriott, Inc. to install the electrical conduit and equipment for Cedar Ridge Section 2 with a not-to-exceed amount of $28,145, all documents being signed by our general manager. Any additional discussion or questions? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, thank you, Jeff. Appreciate it. Okay, our next item is Westler 2023 pre-treatment assistance. This is an action item. And it looks like Ryan Ottinger is up here tonight to address this. Hey, Ryan.
Hello, good evening. This request is to approve the Westler Engineering Pretreatment Program Assistance for 2023. Westler has been pretty intricate in helping us with the pretreatment process, and we have one employee currently that is in our entire pretreatment program. So we have one supervisor supervising himself, and that's Tony Green. So in order for that to be sufficient, we need some help from an outside entity, and Westler and Amy Harvell specifically has always helped us with that. Amy helped in writing the sewer use ordinance, so she understands the background on that. She also will attend, this includes inspections. We have 11 companies and businesses currently in the pretreatment program, potential for 3 more to go online next year. So the potential for that to expand is high. And she also helps us with IDEM reporting and with really anything we need help with. And this is an hourly, on an hourly basis. So if we do not spend this amount, then we don't pay it. So it's just on an as-needed basis, similar to some of our other agreements. And so that's what I have for now, and I'd be happy to answer. This is not limited to Amy. Also, this does include if we need Bob Holden, or if she needs assistance that's not in her purview, we can use them also. But the majority of the work that we need assistance with, Amy Harvell from Westler will provide that.
All right, thank you, Ryan. Questions for Ryan or any discussion?
See, I'm the wastewater liaison for this board, so I spent some time of my life today looking over the 214-page annual report
Light reading.
that was prepared for our pretreatment operation, and that is by, I guess, state law required to be submitted to IDEM, and it's an eye-opener, so to speak, as to the depth of the information that's covered and the effort that's put into it. It's very important to the city, and it's my opinion Westler does an excellent job, and I hope we approve this motion.
Ryan, I'm assuming we have a master services agreement or something that publishes their rates. I didn't see Amy's or...
Yes, and I have hers, and hers is, and it is in a master services agreement.
That's fine.
I believe dating back a couple years.
Okay.
And I have that, so I can send you an email with that. I can actually send it to you with the entire agreement, the master services agreement.
No, well, Jeff got a hold of that. It's probably like 80 pages, isn't it?
It's not that bad, but does have some dust on it, and I have asked Westler in advance of today's meeting that we need to update that MSA and refresh it. The problem with that, that does have a impact on their hourly rates every time we do that.
That's why I haven't brought it up.
But it does, we do need to revisit that, so I've requested that we do that in 2023. The same, we've also floated the same request out to Butler Fairman, so you'll be seeing that again as well.
Okay. Thank you.
But I'm curious, why do you think we need to revisit it? I think, was it 2016 that we had the agreement with Westler?
That's correct.
And is something awry?
I want to go back in and review the agreement. We typically review them every 3 years, and they're overdue. And in talking with Bob Holden, they've got modifications to their agreement as well. So oftentimes, you'll see insurance provisions change, limits, those kinds of things, and so it's just a good idea to take a look at it. I'm not saying that we revise the agreement or refresh it, but I'd like to see a new revised draft come out from them and see what they've done to them.
Thank you.
All right, anything else for Ryan? Not, I'd entertain a motion.
I move to approve the 2023 pretreatment program assistance from Westler Engineering Incorporated in an amount not to exceed $45,000.
Second.
Motion made by Tim, seconded by Bill to approve the 2023 pretreatment program assistance from Westler Engineering, an amount not to exceed $45,000. Any additional questions or discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Next item is the approval of our claims, payrolls, and transfers from December 14th, 2022. Everyone had a chance to review those items, and if so, any discussion or questions? Not, I would entertain a motion.
I make a motion to approve the claims payroll transfers dated December the 14th, 2022, in the amount of $3,283,270.85 for claims and payroll, and $162,527 for transfers.
Second.
Motion made by Bill, seconded by Ann to approve the claims, payrolls, and transfers dated December 14th, 2022. Any additional discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, we'll jump to any other business tonight. Anyone on the board have business they'd like to address? How about our general manager?
Yeah, I have one thing.
All right.
Yeah, since we last met, we like to pride ourselves on being part of the community, serving neighbors. They had the Lebanon Christmas Parade, and we had 4 line trucks that 4 of our linemen decorated with Christmas lights, put their families on the truck, and they had a nice time showing the Lebanon Utilities flag, participating in the parade. Just, helping everybody celebrate Christmas. So I just wanted to shout out to them and say thanks.
I did witness that. I thought it was a nice touch.
Very good. All right, anything else from the board, or we have another opportunity for public comment here at the end? I don't see anyone here for that. Looks like our next meeting is the 5th of January at 5 p.m. of 2023. All right, so before we adjourn, hope everyone has a Merry Christmas and everyone stays safe over the holidays, and I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion, we adjourn?
Second. Motion made by Bill, seconded by Tim to adjourn. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, we'll stand adjourned. Thank you, everyone.